This episode of Kind of Funny Gamescast is brought to you by Mack Weldon. Mack Weldon believes in smart design, premium fabrics, and simple shopping. They got socks, shirts, undershirts, hoodies, sweatpants, and the most comfortable underwear my tush has ever had the pleasure of meeting. Most importantly, they're all about comfort. So if you don't like your first pair, you can keep it, and then they'll still refund you. No questions asked. Here's one of the coolest things. They have a line of silver underwear and shirts that are naturally antimicrobial. That's a fancy word that means it eliminates odor, so it'll probably help people. Like, I'm not going to name any names like Kevin or anything, but it'd probably help him. It's good for working out, going to work, going on dates. You know, I'm not really sure there's any situation they aren't great for, at least any situation that requires wearing underwear. You know, you feel me? Talking about sex. Go to MackWeldon.com and get 20% off using promo code Gamescast. All right, Greg.
Yeah.
Third topic of the day. Mm-hmm. I want to talk about some Xbox.
X gonna give it to you?
X, not that X.
Oh,
the
sorry.
different
My
X.
apologies.
The Bill Gates X.
Box gonna give it to you.
You know what I mean? The box.
Box going to give it to you.
I specifically want to talk about the Xbox Game Pass.
Sure.
So this is another thing where we're talking about it, and you know, Gamescast can kind of get weird in terms of. This is old news, is essentially.
But we're going somewhere with it that's not just, hey, let's explain the games.
Exactly. But I do want to explain.
Game Pass.
Game Pass. I do want to explain it to you because there's a lot.
Well, I want everybody to have the same
details
base
here.
of knowledge before we talk about stuff.
Yeah. So let's get off. Let's get off right here.
I'd love to get off right now.
Let's do it. Xbox Game Pass is a Netflix-like subscription service for Xbox One that gives members access to a catalog of free Xbox One and 360 games. GameSpot talked to Aaron Greenberg.
Friend of the show.
We're friends with Aaron Greenberg. Like that guy. I
Yeah.
like that guy. We should have him back soon.
Yeah, we should.
Games with Gold and Xbox Game Pass are two different services offerings with unique benefits. A Microsoft representative said in a statement to Kotaku, Games with Gold is an added benefit specific to Xbox Live Gold members that rewards players with 2 to 4 free games each month to enjoy, whereas Xbox Games Pass is a subscription-based service that gives you unlimited access to over 100 Xbox One and 360 backward-compatible games for Xbox One for $10 a month. Xbox Live Gold is not required for Xbox Game Pass. However, Xbox Live Gold is required for multiplayer games that are part of the Xbox Game Pass category. Makes sense.
Yeah.
The Microsoft spokesperson also clarified the Xbox Game Pass catalog will update every month only, quote unquote, sometimes will games be removed. So very similar to Netflix.
Sure.
Where every month something's
Something's leaving and something's coming.
Yeah.
Something's always
so you'll
coming.
be able to play all the games in the library for as long as you remain a subscriber. If you cancel your subscription or a game is removed, save data is stored to your account so you can pick it up where you left off in the future should you decide to resubscribe or buy a game. Xbox Games Pass is currently available on Xbox One for people in the Xbox Insider program for testing with a limited selection of titles before its public rollout that is slated for sometime this spring. So soon.
Sure.
When asked if Microsoft would let users purchase an Xbox Game Pass membership and gift it to a friend, Greenberg said this is not a confirmed feature, but he does like the idea. Greenberg also confirmed that Xbox Game Pass will only have a month-by-month subscription option available, priced at $10. No other random-ass hour
I'll
by
buy
hour,
it for a year.
anything like that, because that would be stupid. P.S. Now.
Hey now.
Hey now.
Hey now. Dreaming.
Additionally, Greenberg said that Xbox Game Pass can be shared as part of Xbox One's home sharing policy.
The family
cool,
stuff.
Great.
Yeah.
Awesome. Sounds good. There's more than 100 games available, and the first 10 announced so far. We got Fable 3, Gears of War Ultimate, Halo 5, Lego Batman, Mad Max, Mega Man Legacy Collection, NBA 2K16.
Wait, I'm sorry. Game of the decade? Mad Max is going to be
Game of the Decade.
Wow.
Right next to Mega Man Legacy Collection.
Wow.
Payday 2.
Wait, did Colin build this?
Saints Row 4, Soul Calibur 2, which I'm really confused about. Was Soul Calibur 2 re-released on Xbox One in like some type of
Would it be
way?
360?
Well, I mean, so Soul Calibur 2 came out on Xbox,
Okay.
right?
I'm not. Seriously, I gloss over when the fighting games start.
Well, but Soul Calibur 2 is the one that was Xbox, GameCube, PS2, whereas Heihachi, Link, and Spawn.
Okay.
So this seems weird to me. That game
That one stands out to you? Okay.
Yeah, it's because that's an Xbox game. Maybe it was re-released somehow on 360 or Xbox One. Like, I don't know. Weird. Let me know. Someone tweeted me. I want this
trust me,
explained.
they will.
Tekken Tag Tournament 2 is the last one.
Okay.
So I'm like, that's a lineup of just 10 of the 100 that they're coming out with. Like, so this isn't some bullshit. Halo 5, Gears of War, like these are the games.
Mad
right?
Max.
And Mad Max. Yes. So Other cool things are that are different than PlayStation Now is on the Xbox. If you like the game, you can get a discount to buy it.
Yeah.
So
right.
That's a fun thing. PlayStation Now, it's you play it and then you gotta
you're
pay
done.
the full price. PlayStation Now has a variety of different options to pay. You can rent a game for 4 hours for $1.99, or you can get a 1 month membership for $20, or a 3 month membership for $45.
Sure.
So already like the clear winner in pricing.
I mean, like the
Xbox.
All right, you want to run through the tail of the tape a little bit longer?
I want to get through the very little bit of just the differences because I want to put that on this table. And then Xbox is Xbox One and Xbox 360 games, whereas PlayStation Now, at least currently, is only PS3.
PS3.
And the biggest difference is PlayStation Now streaming, which creates issues. Xbox Game Pass, you download the game.
That is the backbreaker for me, and that's what they led with talking about it. And I think that is the really big holy shit. That's a way bigger difference. Is the fact that like PlayStation Now to me. And it's one of those where I sit there and I am often like, man, I'd love to play Catherine, or I'd love to do this. I'm like, I don't want to break out the PS3. And I often go, oh, what about PlayStation Now? And I'm like, yeah, but the latency. You know what I mean? No matter what, you're streaming a game, and like, I'm sure it's gotten better or whatever, blah, blah. I played it when they launched it, and it was just like that thing of like, okay, well, no, it's not. It's not precise, and that's the kind of shit I can't deal with. Like when you sit down to play a game and you know something's wrong with the input on the TV, where there's that little bit of latency, and that kills it for me, where I'm just can't do it. And so for them to be like, no, you download it, I'm like, well, yes, why? If you're not I don't mean it in a negative sense, like you're a cheap ass gamer or a penny pitching gamer, but if you're a gamer on a budget and you're like, yeah, I want to play other stuff and I want to play Mad Max and I want to play Halo and I want to play these 360 games, I have no idea why you wouldn't do this. Like this is, I think, head and shoulders a better program than PlayStation Now. And it's funny the journey PlayStation Now has been on of like, we always talk about it, on PS I Love You, or when we talk about the subject of just the fact that Colin and I were like, they bought Gaikai. Boom. Huge announcement. This is going to change everything, and they blah, blah, they don't have to worry about anything. And then they morph it in this PlayStation Now service that you don't hear anybody super excited about, that you don't see anybody really working with. And it's like, okay, well then it's really just an answer to backwards compatibility, which Microsoft came out at that E3 and was like, nope, here you go. We're making our games backwards compatible. You can play your 360 games on Xbox One. And it's like, oh, fuck. And it's like, well, it's PlayStation's answer to, and it's like, well, now we're putting Xbox One games on here too. Like, it's a cool program. It's and like when it's the Netflix of video games, which we've talked about with
so many times.
Why doesn't Nintendo do that with Virtual Console?
And that's the thing is like with the Virtual Console still kind of on the hush hush from Nintendo. It's like I wonder if there's a possibility of them going this route. I don't think they're going to end up doing it.
I don't think they will.
And I don't even necessarily think it makes sense for them to do it. We do know that their online service will include the free download
free game
whatever.
Or whatever, yeah.
So that shit is super weird and whatever. But it's like that could work in an ecosystem like this Xbox Game Pass thing. Where it's like, so there is the possibility still of that being the case. This news to me, when I first heard it, I was a little confused by it and like didn't really understand who the target audience was.
Sure.
As I read more about it and try to figure it out, I'm like, you're right. This is the type of thing of like, why wouldn't you do this if you are a average gamer?
For me, here's the thing about this:
$10 a month for access to all that shit is huge.
We always talk about how privileged we are and how we get all these free games, and literally anything is an email away we want. What this is to me is a far better version, but I'll never ever ever forget the first summer vacation where Blockbuster Video instituted their Game Pass, and I think I paid $20 or maybe it was $10 a month or whatever, and I got unlimited game rentals, one out at a time.
Yep.
And I remember that the thing I did was like, okay, cool. I had it was PlayStation 2 times, right? That makes sense. What doesn't matter, but I think it was because I played Britney's Dance Beat. I remember that being one of the ones. But that was the thing of like what I did is I went in there and I was like, all right, cool. Every game, I'm gonna play every game in Blockbuster. And I went to the game section and I grabbed that first A game.
Are you
took it out and came, and that's how I played. It got when I'm into B's. There's Britney's Dance Beat. All right, cool. And it was like it would be like it was like a way to break up the monotony of like the job I had or whatever, and like it was summer break, and so I was playing other things I wanted to play. But you remember how summers used to be. Now there's games all the time, but there was a time where it was like there was like a fucking 6-month period where there was like nothing happening. Like you're waiting till fall and that's it. So it was like I had all this time and I wanted to play shit, so I just went through and played everything. And that's what this is too, and that's how I see it working, right? And the fact of like you are a gamer who can't afford to get every AAA game, can't afford to get everything. I'm sure you missed a lot of stuff in the 360 area. That's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, why wouldn't you go ahead and, okay, cool, let's do this, $10 and just try it. And again, it's monthly, so you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to think. And that's the thing with PlayStation Now, where it's like, okay, cool, like PlayStation Now is fine and it's whatever, it's there if you really need it, but the latency and then only PS3 and it's more expensive, and like, why the fuck would you do that?
Yeah.
Like Xbox, this is a really good service, it's a really cool thing. Now to your point about Nintendo and the virtual console, I'm with you that number one, I don't think it'll happen, and number two, I don't think it needs to happen.
Yeah.
Because what I was like, we talked about this in the previous show, we talked about this in a previous topic, where as somebody without the nostalgia for Nintendo, I still have never played. Oh Jesus! I've never beaten Super Mario 2 or 3. I'm sure the list goes on like that.
You never
know
beat
what I mean?
3?
No, because I missed them, right? So I've seen them and I've played them, but it's like if I'm actually gonna have this system with me, of course I'm gonna buy them and put them on there, and I'll fucking do it. You know what I mean? But that's the thing is, I'll buy them. I'm totally fine to give you the $5 for Super Mario 3. I know it's amazing. I know it's tried.
I mean, you are in the minority in that. That's. There are many, 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 many people out there that have bought Mario 3 10 times.
And that's I'm sorry, that's my point for why they don't need to do it, is the fact that I've never done it. I love this system. Sure, here's my money. And I think there are, in the same breath, there's people like you who are like, I bought it 1,000,000 times. This is my system that's with me all the time. I'll buy it again.
Exactly.
And I don't think you're going to be there like, oh, I've put in too much money already. It's almost
Yeah.
a source of pride when you talk to people about how many versions of what they've bought.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think that this Xbox Game Pass is going to be good for the industry overall if it works correctly, because we are moving towards this kind of choose what you want type of situation where it's like you are now going to play games. If people are going to buy this for $10 and play games that they would have never played otherwise. And I think that's important because you talk to Nick, who watches all this shit on Netflix, about Amazon Prime video, when you're watching shit you would have never watched otherwise. So that alone is cool, just the discovery aspect of it all.
100% you're right on that. And the fact that they're going to go out and discover and stuff. It's great on the level that, this is what we always talk about, where, is competition good for everything? Competition's great for everything, right? Xbox is behind PlayStation. They need to figure out how to get in front of PlayStation. They're going to make these moves, which then puts pressure on PlayStation, on Nintendo to follow suit, to come up with an answer, to figure this out. And then on top of this is a question from either this show or PS I Love You, where somebody was like, I feel bad about renting games. And like, because I do GameFly and I do this and the developer doesn't get money. Like, okay, guess what, everybody? We are to the point that Xbox and PlayStation and Nintendo can sit there and be like, all right, cool. No more GameFlies. No more local mom and pop shops. Not that that's a real thing. But like, we can do this on our own, cut the developers a better deal and do it all digitally and not have to worry about it. And it's also then getting what we always want, that digital future to happen, where now all of a sudden consumers want more digital stuff because they're consuming more digital stuff. They understand how digital works. They're putting more pressure on cable companies to make the internet better. We're doing that. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. And I mean, there's a lot of, I was reading an article today that was associating the Xbox Game Pass announcement with the GameStop stock dropping dramatically. And like, I think that's a little bit just coincidental.
Sure.
But I mean, who knows? Like, this is the type of just another hit on that nail in the coffin.
Sure.
For that type of, physical.
I didn't realize
stores.
GameStop's stock drop. That's interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, I would, if I cared more, that'd be a stock I think I would pick up, because I bet they're looking at this in the same way of like, well, that's an interesting way to keep this going. You know what I mean? We'll try to sell used digital goods. Like, that doesn't work. But getting the GameStop app onto Nintendo, onto Xbox, onto PlayStation, that is the digital GameFly, and figuring that out, that's something there too.
That's huge. I mean, yeah, but like, it's great that it's Xbox doing it. There's an Xbox app that you can get on your Xbox to play these games.
Exactly.
Exactly. I'm excited to see what it does for the industry. I'm excited to see at E3, and E3 is probably not the place Sony would talk about it. It would probably just be a blog post or its own separate thing. But what does this mean for PlayStation now? Will PlayStation get PS4 games as well?
Yeah.
Will they change their pricing structure? Because I think a big thing for going for Xbox Game Pass is $10 a month. There's no fucking around. There's no tiers and
nickel
this,
and
this,
diming.
and this. Yeah. I mean, we are getting to a point now where it's like, all right, cool. There's Xbox Live, there's Xbox Games Pass, and there's Xbox Games with Gold, and there's PlayStation Now, there's PlayStation View, PlayStation Plus. It's like, okay, there is a lot of stuff going on that gets confusing even for people in the know.
Right. Oh, that was the thing, right?
Today when we were talking about this topic, like, it's like, all right, cool. So let's talk about it from this perspective. And it's like, we need to brush up on PlayStation
you're like,
Now.
what is happening? Like, I haven't thought about PlayStation Now in fucking forever. Let me go look.
You brought up a point earlier in this topic where you're like, that you don't hear anyone talking about PlayStation Now or whatever. I wonder if people are. Like, I wonder if we are not the audience.
Right.
I don't think anyone we surround ourselves with are the audience for people that would use PlayStation Now. I wonder if people are actually interested in it. I wonder if it is working for Sony. And it's one of those things that I don't think we'll ever know.
Yeah.
Because Sony doesn't release numbers like that.
Well, I mean, the thing with PlayStation Now that I thought was they're getting ready to do something. And it's evident by the fact, right, that they turned off Vita support, they turned off PS3 support, they turned off all these different support windows. So it's PC and it's PlayStation 4.
Yeah.
So you assume that they can optimize the infrastructure, they can make the store look pretty. It sounds like the move you make not right before, but maybe 6 months before, a few months, coming into E3, where you're like, okay, cool, we did all that to do this. PlayStation Now is better than ever, and here's what it is.
Yeah, man, it's going to be an interesting E3. I can't wait till we start getting a little closer and we can start doing like prediction topics and things like that, because we're going into a year where we have a brand new piece of hardware that just launched with the Switch, and Nintendo fucking has to, at this point, make some power moves.
Sure.
In addition to that, we got PlayStation coming off Year of Dreams 1 and 2, where it's like, how are they going to top what they did last year? I think it's impossible, but fuck it. I'm asking for Year of Dreams 3.
Sure.
And then there's Xbox with Scorpio, and who the fuck else knows what they have up their sleeve.
Yeah.
Like this is an E3 unlike any we've seen in years.
Yeah.
And I like that the last couple of years have always had some weird little thing about them that keeps it interesting.
Yeah.
Like, will they show the PlayStation 4 Pro? And it's like, no. And it's like, oh, but Xbox showed theirs? Like, no one expected that.
Yeah.
So it's cool to go into it now, and I wonder if we're going to get a lot more announcements like this, because for Xbox, them coming out 2 years ago with the backwards compatibility.
That's right, 2 years. It was our first time. It's kind of fun.
Yeah, that's what won them E3 in critics' eyes.
Yeah.
And I wonder if there's going to be more announcements, and there is room for PlayStation to talk about PlayStation Now at their conference, and the new version of whatever it looks like and is. But yeah, it's an exciting time, and I do think that this is the type of news that I immediately write off because I'm not interested.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not going to do this. I don't care, whatever. But I think when I think deeper about how much it's going to affect the majority of people out there, I think that this is going to be huge for Xbox, and it is going to shift the industry.
Will it be huge for Xbox is a huge question mark for me. I hope it shifts the industry, but it is that thing that PlayStation does have a stranglehold, right? They are so far ahead. And this isn't I feel like if the roles were reversed, I don't mean like placements. If PlayStation right now announced, we're doing away with PlayStation Now, instead this is PlayStation then, and it's that you download the games and you have $10, you get all these games, right? I feel like the place would go insane because, and this is never a knock, I don't mean like a knock, I feel like the PlayStation gamer is the gamer we think of. The gamer who is, I want to know the lineage of everything. I want to have a breadth of knowledge about everything. They're the best friends, you know what I mean? Whereas I think, this is something we were talking about, Colin and I recently, that Xbox lost its way this generation because it banked on the people who loved Gears and loved Halo and loved sports and Call of Duty. And I'm not because obviously I enjoy some of those games. A more juvenile audience, they thought would be here too. And I do think in a way the audience grew up, and like when PlayStation came out, it was like games. This is what we're talking about. You're gamers, we're all gamers. Maybe it just peeled away at the time, some of the mainstream. I think Xbox lost their step there. So I think backwards compatibility is awesome, and it won it in the eyes of the critics, right? I don't know how much that mattered to everybody.
It seems like it matters a lot. And again, this is all very just small little
Nobody's
bubbles
got numbers,
we're in. But I mean, I'm on the Kind of Funny Facebook group every day, and I see what people are talking about. And the backwards compatibility in Xbox seems like a big deal.
That's good. That's good knowledge that I haven't heard about. And that's the thing is like, that's awesome. And I want that to matter. And I love this program. I want this to matter. Xbox is doing some awesome stuff. I want them to continue to be awesome.
I think that it's also great timing with Scorpio, because I even though Xbox is losing now, they have a chance at not losing. And I think that it is moves like this that are going to put them in a better position.
That's actually a great point that I didn't fucking think about at all. This matters so much with Scorpio.
Because when it comes out, immediately, here's a library.
You didn't buy an Xbox One, no big deal. When you
Halo
come here,
5, here's Gears Ultimate Edition.
That's a fucking
here's
great
all that
point
stuff.
that I didn't even think about. The fact of like, when they get to announce that, Scorpio comes with, for $10, 200 games.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
And then it's going to be an interesting time.
Play Quantum Break, everybody.
Hope you enjoyed that Kind of Funny Gamescast. If you did, you can make sure you to subscribe here to Kind of Funny Games. And if you want content that's not games related, you can go here, subscribe to Kind of Funny. And if you want to support us and, help us make cooler stuff, Patreon, it's right there, doing cool stuff. I love you. See you guys next week.